What's up, guys? We're going to talk about the hinge. Alright, so they have to know how to hinge before they deadlift. Alright, if they don't know how to hinge, their deadlift is not going to go well. Okay, so we want to make sure they're staying safe, making some maximum gains in the hammies and the booty. Alright, so here's how I do it. It's the hinge. The hinge is learning to bend over without bending at the low back. Alright, so a lot of people, they pick stuff up, they just go like this, right? That's ugly. The way that we hinge, shoving our butt back, all that rotation is coming through my hips. My low back is staying neutral, nice and straight, just like that, alright? So, that is how you hinge. Here's how we teach the hinge, okay? We actually start by teaching people to hinge up against the wall. So we would do it like this. We'd say, alright, so stand up against the wall, take a step out, just a little baby step. Alright, now, he's just going to shove his butt back until he touches the wall. Just like that, back up. Do it. He's going to do that 5 times. This feels like the most ridiculous exercise. Joshua, the cameraman, Burnham is laughing, but this is important. So after he does it 5 times, he's going to scoot out a little bit further, and he's going to do it again. And we're just going to keep scooting out until he can, he's at his maximum distance, all right? He's getting the maximum booty stretch, okay? So he's shoving that butt back there, but notice, 1, he's not leaning against the wall. He's not sitting into the wall. His back is straight. You feeling a stretch in the hamstrings? Yep. All right, let's scoot out a little bit further, and do it again. We're probably at, yeah, so he's not going to be able to do this, all right? He's probably at max distance. That's great. Again, just making sure that low back is straight. Perfect. Now, what we can then do is a Romanian deadlift or a stiff leg deadlift. You can do the same thing. Once they know how to do it, back away from the wall, just like that, holding the kettlebell. This is awesome for the hamstrings and glutes. It's a great precursor. I don't even know if it's the right word for this. We're going to roll with it. It's the right precursor for the deadlift, right? So let's step away from the wall. Hinge master. All right, do it again. Slight knee bend. There's not no knee bend. Slight knee bend, low back is straight, feeling the stretch in the hamstrings and the glutes. All right, now we're going to go over the common things that people do wrong. All right, first one, just super hyper extending the back, arching the back like crazy. And it's more so on the way up, they lean back. We don't want to do that, all right? At the top, they should be squeezing their quads, their glutes, and their abs, not just cranking back on the low back. All right, the next piece is people just being lazy and bending over. Ooh, snap city, all right? That's snap city right there, one-way ticket. You're not coming back from that. All right, scheme feel that in the low back, no bueno, all right? So they want to make sure they're keeping that chest up, nice and neutral position, shoulder blades down and back, nice flat back here, okay? And he's finishing at the top, straight up and down. Beautiful, all right? Just like a plank at the top. The next thing people do incorrectly is they lower the weight way out in front of them. Even if they're keeping a flat back, this is going to put a lot of pressure on the low back. So show them a couple more bad reps. We don't want to do that. Instead, we want to lower it right between the legs. Keep it close to the center of gravity, center of mass. And there it is. He's going to feel this all in the hammies, okay? So again, this is really important. Make sure they're finishing nice and tall at the top, shoving their butt back, nice stretch at the back. And make sure they're not going out too far, make sure they're not hyperextending at the top, and make sure that they're not just rounding their back, okay? And one thing I always like to do, you're good, one thing I always like to do is ask them, where do you feel it, or do you feel it in your low back? Because if they feel it in their low back, regardless of how it looks, they're doing it incorrectly, okay? So make sure they're not feeling it in their low back, and I like to ask, do you feel it in your hamstrings? The goal on this, everybody should feel this. This is a very easy movement when done properly to feel. So they should be feeling in their hamstrings. So just say, do you feel in your hamstrings or glutes? They should say yes. Do you feel in your low back? No. Perfect. If they feel it in their low back, just go through that checklist, all right? Make sure they're not hyperextending at the top. Make sure they're keeping their abs tight. Make sure they're not rounded at the bottom. And you're good to go.